Okay. So Supriya, what should be our first step? Okay, that is in main. Before that, in order to solve this problem, we need to think in terms of functions. From main, so even if we don't take input, we can test our function. So right now our goal is to solve it, then fill the main. So what should be our function signature? Okay, print cal, fine. Print calendar, inputs, Sanket, date and month, data type, integer. So int month, int date, year. Okay. Year. So you can say month or year. So I am taking this small. Return type, we are just printing, so we don't return anything. Now how do we write this function so that it produces this output? Think of this is a nested loop problem. First line, how do we print?
That is why we have the inputs like something month.
Correct.
Compare that the array, like we have month array.
Yeah. So we don't have February in our function, but we have 2. That is what will come to us. From 2, how do we print February? So we have been given a month array, which is a 2-dimensional array, because each element in this array is a string, which is a single dimensional array. So if we go and print months of 2, that will be a string. Since string is null terminated, we can use %s to print that, right? So what is the line that goes here to print the month? To print it this way. Okay, printf. Let's give new line. %s is for month, then %d for year. So we say months. In months we specify m and we specify y. This line will give us what we want. Let's check from main. Now we can simply go and say print cal. So until unless we have tested it, we are not going to make it writing scanf in the main and all. Ideally the problem says we should do scanf from the console, right? For now, since we are coding for the first time, first we'll validate our solution with one input like this. So if we call the function with this, compile, run, it's giving February 2009. So far good. Second, what is the second line? Does anything change here? No. So we simply copy it, go ahead and say printf and paste it with, yeah. So we are quick. I was going to ask, will this give us the desired output? It will not, because until unless we put /n, it is not going to new line. So we get /n. Second part also solved. Now third part is printing the dates. How do we print the dates? If I say you have to produce this output, don't worry about giving spaces and all. If this is the output to be produced, then we have done problems like this where we are printing numbers in rectangle. Okay, forgot to ask, everyone done the nested loop problems? All clear? Chalo, that is good. So again, this is a nested loop thing. First we worry about printing this output, then we will think about how do we give space and all. So for now, just assume every month has 31 days in it and write the loop. Okay, sorry, week name month. Yeah, every month has 31 days, 7 days in a week, and we are starting from the first place. So we print 7, 7, 7, 7, 4 lines of 7, then 1 line will be 3, because we are talking about 31. So that 31 numbers at least we can print by writing a nested loop. So yeah, write that code. Yeah, so one option is we go like this. outer loop runs d divided by 7 times, then inner loop, each row we are printing 7 numbers, and then new line. Yeah. There is a better way than this. What we can do is we can run it d times. Every time we print I directly, and now we have to decide when will we hit the new line. When will that come? If I percentile 7 is 0, that means after 7 is printed, we enter a yeah, good point. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. No, if it goes up, then after 6 it will give a new line. Think about it. So you are saying this condition should move up, right? So now see, 1 will be printed, 2 3 4 5 6, till 6 it is printed. Now I becomes 7, 7 is less than equal to 31. First we come and give a new line. 7 should come in new line. Understood the problem? So it should be up or down? New line. It should be down, because after printing 7, Prashant, clear?
If it starts being looped at 0, sir, then you can
Yeah, then though it will be up. So we are starting loop with 1, that's why it will be down, because after printing 7 it should come.
After Saturday slashing, sir, they will start printing from side of Saturday.
Correct. So after Saturday also, on top there should be a slash n, so that the days are printed on the next line. With this, if we run, okay, right now it says unused variable j. With this, if we run, we are getting some output, but it is not what we expected because of the digits. Somewhere it is 1 digit, somewhere it is 2 digit. So how do we fix that problem? Yeah, width. Yeah. So when we are printing D, we make it reserve 3 places for D, and after that we are giving 1 space. So now when we compile it, run it, we are getting formatted output, because each digit we are ensuring 3 spaces. So under Sunday 3 spaces are for the day. So Priya, clear? So okay, this looks like this is what we wanted in output, but it will not work for any month right now. So we have to make it work for any month. Now our jugglery starts here. Should this be 31 always, number of days? No. What should it be? On top we have been given an array, days in month. If we know the month, we will get days in that. So should we make it days in month and m? So then we are picking the day dynamically, but with only exception here February has 28. So we know in leap year February will have 29 days. So for that, after we got days, here we can check if month is 2 and
Year. Why?
so basically we are checking leap year. So rather than writing the complete logic here, we can assume, let's say somebody has given us function is leap year. For now we are thinking that way. If it is 2 and is leap year, then what we do? Can I say d is equal to d plus 1? Because otherwise we would have taken 28. Now we are increasing 1 more. So now we need is leap year function. This is what we do typically in college. Right? So it is becoming a sub problem for us that we have to use is leap year. Unfortunately, there is no inbuilt function in C for this, so we will have to write it. So is leap year is a function. Let's say we go ahead and write. What will this return? Boolean. So we say bool. This is int y. For bool, we need to do hash include std bool. We can return integer also. 1 is true, 0 is false. Okay. So unnecessary including, yeah, your point is valid, but this makes our program look more readable. Yeah, again this is a personal choice because we just are returning one of two values. So is leap year. So Supriya, if it is 1900 year, we know this is a century. For century, it should be divisible by 400 to be a leap year. So 1900 is not a leap year. That is the definition of leap year. So first, what should we do? We check if it is a century. So we say if y modulo 100, if this is a century and y modulo 400 is 0. Okay, y modulo 100 is also 0, 400 is also 0. So we return false or true? True. Then if y modulo 100 is not 0, we are ensuring it's not a century, and y modulo 4 is 0, then we say in this case also true. In all other cases we say false. So step by step if we calculate, this is how we see it's a leap year or not.
If it is divisible by 400, then it is obviously divisible by 400.
If it is divisible by
400, then it is obviously divisible by 100.
we can say that. So this is unnecessary. We can get rid of that. Okay. Or we can also make this one concise in one condition. So what will that be? If y divisible by 400 is 0, or so we make it more concise. But ideally, yeah, when we solve problem, we should think step by step so that we don't make any mistake. Optimization should always be the second step. So y100 not 0 and mod 4.
Like
Yeah.
percentile 400 is equal to
Hmm?
like y percentile 400 is equal to 0. So if it is true, then it enters future. So not if it is divisible by 400, then it's
If it is divisible by 400, then it should be true.
false.
Why? 2000 is a leap year. So in 2000 case, this condition will be true. Right? We are saying it's a century divisible by 400. Right? So if it is not a century and divisible by 4, then also return true. So we are saying this or this. So this is our leap year function. So now okay, this will also start working. So now if we print, we expect August 2015. How many days should it print? 31 days. February 2009, how many days? 28. February 2016, 29, because we have just gone one step ahead to our solution and we have started printing our number of days. So here we are seeing 28, here we are seeing 29, here 31. So now this has become dynamic. Now the only remaining problem is, yeah, so which day it is, those many spaces we will print. So that is the remaining problem. So for remaining problem, we need to find the first day of this month is which day. So now at the time of printing, we need to print spaces based on what is the first date. If first day is Sunday, we don't need to put any spaces. If it is Monday, one space. If it is Tuesday, two spaces. So basically we want to get this number. If first day is Sunday, we should get 0. Similar to determine first day of year. This returns us 0 for Sunday. So same way we need a function int get first day of month. What will we pass to this function? Month as well as year. So these two things are given to you. Use the first function to calculate and return the first day of this month. So first we get the first day of year. f dy equals determine first day of year and we pass year to that. Then in first day of year we add days till today. How do we add? For I1, I less than current month, because every month's days we will add. Should we do less than equal to current month? No, because current month's full days we don't want to add, and we do I plus plus. And in this what we will do, f dy equals f dy plus days in month, and we pass m, not m, sorry, it will be I, because we are going in the loop. So how many days in this month? No, right now what we are doing, we are adding from first day of year till today, how many days have gone, we are adding that. At the time of returning we will make sure we return f dy modulo 7, because that is what our answer will be. Okay. So that is what I was saying, if first day of year is Monday, after 31 days what day will come? So first day of year will be Monday, that means this function will return you 1. Okay. So in this case, let's see, in our current year, first day of year was Thursday. So what is our answer? 3 is Tuesday, 4 is Thursday. So first day of year is Thursday. Now we want to know what will be the day on 1st of February. So in this 4 add 31. Total it becomes 35. Modulo 7, 0. Same way, if you want to know till March, in 4 you add 31 plus 28. 35 plus 28, it will be 63. 63 modulo 7, again 0. So till this date we calculate number of days that have gone after 1st of Jan, and we do modulo 7. Whatever answer we get, that is this day. Right? So this will tell us the first day of that month. Is this complete implementation?
Yeah.
No, we have missed the leap year in this, because every time we are reading days in month, we know only leap year is something that we have to incorporate. Now since we are going to call leap year function, leap year is defined below this. So one option is we copy this and we give forward declaration, because if function is defined below a function and we call it, there will be a compilation error. So let's first see that. Okay, it did not come at all, or sometimes that warning comes because implicitly each function returns int. In this case it will not come here because bool itself is int. If it was some other return type, it would have come. Or ideally we will use a convention of defining the caller below, callee above. So this is a convention we will follow. It's not a mandate, but if we follow that convention, it's better. So what is the fix we make here to incorporate the leap year? So here what we do, if m equal to 2, do we check for m? Only for I. That means if we are considering February month, if I equals 2, then we add f dy equals f dy plus 1.
No. Directly then returning, we can check. If I equal to 2 and here is when returning, we have to check is leap year condition.
Okay.
Return f dy percentile 7 plus 1.
Okay, that is also fair. That if it is a leap year, why we add in the loop? Okay, first is in the loop, let's say this is 2 and is leap year. First fix is we do it like this. So in loop it will check whenever I reaches 2, that means we are considering second month, and we return. So Arvind is suggesting one other possible way, is saying why should we write in here? Why not check here if is leap year y, we return 1 plus f dy, otherwise we return f dy modulo 7, right Arvind? We need to have, in this case if we are printing January's calendar for a leap year, what will this return? It will add one more. So yeah, so this condition should be returned only when m is greater than 2. Can we say that? Because this will affect only March, April, May, June. Or if we want, this check could have been rather than at the time of return, the third way is having this check on top itself. Here we say, if this was the case, f dy plus plus simply. So we add one in advance. So anyway, wherever we want to put, our intention is to account for the leap year. So all these are valid ways to consider it. Okay, so now we got the first day of month also. Now where do we need that? Here, right? Int f dy equals get first day of month, we pass month and year. Now we have to somehow incorporate this as part of our loop. Sorry, it should be FDM, first day of month. Now this variable will be used to give spaces. So before loop, should we give spaces before this loop? So before this loop, we should enter print spaces. So we need a logic here to print spaces. Right, Supriya, this is clear? So how do we print spaces? Based on the value of FDM. If FDM is 0, how many spaces to print? 0. If it is 1, 1 space. So our number of spaces are dependent on the value of FDM.
So
I will start from 0, I less than equal to FDM. If FDM is 0, no space. No, then it should be less than FDM. I plus plus. If I is 1, sorry, FDM is 1, this loop will run once. Now can I say printf 1 space and done? Is it 1 space that we need?
3 spaces we are doing.
Or more?
4 total.
So if Sunday is not what we want to print, Sunday and this space we have to account for. 4 spaces here. At one time there should be 4 spaces because 3 we have reserved for the date and 1 is space between the day. So we should have 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this way we get spaces and then day starts coming. So now we have solved the spaces problem. There is one last problem. Chalo ji, yeah. With this we are getting all the months correct. Feb 2009. Up 2009 Feb. Sunday is the first day. So all these cases are fine. Then we have Feb 2016. Come back 16 Feb, and we see first day is Monday, right? Convenient, right, this calendar? Yeah. Okay, so this was our first problem, only loop and printing problem, nothing more than that. So now Pranay has asked one question, that this function that is given to us, what does that mean? So this is a standard formula. I think I took it from Wikipedia, that how do we calculate the first day of year if year is known to us. So they have given, I will show you. Wikipedia first day of year. Opening day. Oh, this they may give some other description. Formula I should have written. Formula to know day of first day of year. Determination first day of year. So here they talk about some concept and some formula they calculate, and eventually where is that? This. I think it is taken from here. It is D1 is by 4. Yeah. So ultimately, like, this is taken from somewhere, which is a well-known formula. Rather than putting our own brain into that, I have just copied it. Maybe this is not the source or something else. Yeah, so this is the standard taken formula. One thing worth noticing here is decimal numbers we put without 0 also. That's the reason I have put it like this. So if we have a decimal value, even if we put 3 dot, it's considered as decimal number. It is equivalent to 3.0. Yeah, so that was unique, so it is covered here. Otherwise, yeah, there is no rocket science here, like nothing that I thought of. Some scientists would have come up with this and we are using that. Okay, so this problem is done. Now there are two extensions specified here. One is we can extend it to print the full year calendar by taking year as input. What change do we need to do to our program?
In the main also a loop.
So in main,
Calls 12 months.
we call just 2015
And I comma 2015.
I comma 2015 we call this function. So easy to print the full year calendar. If you have to print 20 years calendar, get the start year, get the end year, loop. Because we have written that function, the benefit is we can call it with any inputs. Then it is use this program. So this is kind of a mini project that people can do. You can suggest it to your juniors, first year, second year students. Use this program to build a horoscope generator. Ask user for his date of birth. Based on date of birth, calculate the day of his birth. So that way you have to just create horoscope for 7 days. Keep it in a file. Say if it is Monday, then your horoscope is this. If day of your birth was Monday, so we give fixed horoscope just to call it a mini program. So this is that. Taking his date of birth, we know the year. From year, okay, his date is also known. We can extend the program to know the date of his birth. I mean the day of his birth. Once uska horoscope print kar do. Yeah, so these two related problems are there just as an extension. So this is uploaded anyways. So you have this PDF now. Okay, so good that we got started with our problem solving. So I'm sharing the next problem with you today, and that is again related to arrays, because I said array is the most widely used data structure. Okay, there is generator also, there is validator also. So this validator says this is a magic square validator. So if you are given a two-dimensional array, we have to validate the sum of its rows, sum of its columns, sum of its diagonals. It's same. Yeah, both the diagonals. So this diagonal is 15, this diagonal is 15. Same way here also. So since this is a 3 by 3 square, it's easy for us to find manually. This program should tell it's valid or not. So okay, before moving into this problem, previous problem we did not solve it fully as it was expected. So in previous problem we were supposed to take two numbers from the user, ampersand m, ampersand y, because that is what problem was. Take it from the user and then call with m and y. Right? Yeah, same in this case also will do. So this comes under easy category because it's just loops. row loops, column loops and diagonal loops. So problem statement says given an integer n, because this is square we just need one dimension, row or column, we know it will be n by n, which represents rows and columns followed by n cross n numbers. So how many numbers we need? N cross n. If we say this is a square of size n3, then we know it's 3 by 3. So we need 9 numbers from user and we have to output valid or invalid. This is input, this is output. So if that is the problem we have to solve, then I'll give you one more tip today for this kind of problem. So let me make it this calendar test. So we get rid of this problem and we say int main return 0. So in magic square case, now we don't want to give magic square manually, because manually typing 25 numbers, 30 numbers is a pain. So what we will do, scanf %d ampersand n. We ask user about n and then how many numbers we read? N by n. So let's declare a matrix here for now, square, and we declare it big enough so that we can solve any problem with this. Okay, we will store numbers in this and we are assuming have we been given as constraints. Okay, here constraints are not defined. Typically for programming problems, constraints will be defined. It will be told like maximum you are going to get n is 100, 1000 or 2000. So we'll take it maximum for now and we'll proceed. Now how many numbers we have to read? N square. So int I j, yeah, we can make it a function, that will be better. So void read square, we don't pass it because that is global anyways. N we pass here. So we want to tell what is the n. For I0, I less than n, I plus plus. For J0, J less than n, J plus plus. And what we do? Square of I and J equals, okay, we have to do a scanf here. Scanf %d ampersand square of I j. So this will read n square numbers. Now square is populated. Same way as we printed read square, let's say print square also, just to check it's going perfectly fine or not. So rather than this, we will do printf this, and we will worry about giving /n also. So for /n we know it will be outside the inner loop. Right? And now we want to validate that read square and print square will also need n. It's working fine, right? So if I run this program now, it is waiting for which input? N. So we give n as 3, then I print 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, go here, edit, mark. I'm copying this right now. So it printed that. Okay, we should have given spaces also. Fine. One option is whenever I give some input, I can go run the program, read that from a file. So 3, let's say I copy paste something from the file, go to edit and paste it. So that way I don't have to type every number. So we read it from online or some file and we give it like this. So this will simplify our life. Second option is we write both these things in a file, and what we do, we go to the folder where our exe is generated. Here our exe is generated, right? We talked about after compiling and linking we get the exe. So what we do, we go and save this file in that directory and we say inp.txt. Just it represents our input. Now what I can do is go to command prompt change to that directory. Now we will run our program here. So I say class 6. If I run here again, it will wait for the first input 3. Then other inputs 1, 2, 3. Okay, I need to give with spaces. Right. So whatever I am giving here, fine Supriya. Okay. So whatever I am giving here, it is taking. Now rather than typing here manually, what we can do is we can redirect from a file. Have you used this earlier? No? When we are redirecting, we are saying take the input from that file and redirect it to the program. So that means whatever is there in the file, that will act as if we are writing on the console. So we are saying file becomes a standard input for our program. Now first scanf will read the first line in our file, which is 3. Enter. It is reading and printing. Scanf is not coming out. So with this, the benefit is we can run with bigger squares. Every time we just put our input in the file. So online, when we submit our problems to any programming contest, they use this approach. So their input will be in a file, and they also go with an approach of you can do it for many test cases. Let's say 5 magic squares you can validate. So they call that TC. First input that we will give will be number of test cases that you have to run with. So we read TC first, scanf %d ampersand test cases. Then they write a loop TC minus minus while TC is greater than 0, we keep on running. That means first we'll read the first magic square, we print that. Second magic square, print that. So format user style, right? Okay, while is spelling wrong. While TC minus minus greater than 0. So if TC was 1, it will run 1 is greater than equal to 0, it will run once. After that, it will become 0. It will run twice. It should only be greater than 0, because if it is 1, we want to run once, not 0 based. So now if this be the case, I can go to my input file, I can give another magic square. Now let me see if I have magic squares. Okay, do we have magic square generator here? I think there I will have some magic squares. So let's copy, select, and we come here and we say this is a magic square of size 5, and now total number of test cases that we are giving is 2. First number is how many magic squares we have to validate, then the magic squares. Now we go back, compile our, build our program, builds fine. We go here, it prints the first one, second one. Now our goal is, rather than printing the second one, here we should call a function is valid. We should pass n there, and that should validate. If that returns us true, we have to print valid. If that returns false, we have to print invalid, right? So function we will need is bool is valid int n. For now, let me return true from here, and I say this is a to do, so that I leave up to you. But here what we will do, printf, we have to print valid or invalid. So can I say %s, and we will give /n as well, is valid n question mark. If this is true, we have used ternary operator. So I am using if else directly inside. If this is true, then string to print is valid or string to print is invalid. This is quick way of printing. Otherwise, what we could have done is call this function, right? If this returns true, print valid, otherwise invalid. So just wanted to share with you another approach of doing the same. So that's why I have written the structure till this point, so that going forward you have more tools available at your hand. Whenever we are writing any function to validate, one line we can do it. So abhi, if we run it, okay, it is going to ask me input. So now we will be lazy because we know a better way. So first case it is printing valid, second case it is printing valid. Okay, new line we should have given in the beginning and end also, so that this does not impact. right? So I'll also show you CodeChef. You look at any problem here. So mostly it's saying first line contains n. Each test case has the following line. First line contains t number of test cases. So it's one test case. After that, in our case, it is n cross n. So he's giving this. Okay. Luckily, I opened something which is n cross n grid of lights. Okay, this is also interesting puzzle to solve. So here it is saying n cross n. This is the n. This is their matrix, and ultimately proceed from there and print the output as a solution. So some problems will have this as 3 and he will give 3 inputs. So this is one input for him, n and matrix, again n and matrix. So here you see it will give constraints also mostly. I think his numbers will specify this is that n will be from 3 to 30. That is the possible value of n that he is giving. Then lines contain the values which are characters 0 or 1. So tomorrow we will start with, tomorrow onwards our strategy will be, we will cover some concept which is a new concept, and we will keep on doing problems like this. So every class we solve one problem and we learn one new concept. So tomorrow the concept we will start with will be pointers, so that we set the stage for entering into our linear data structure linked list. So now we leave our loops, arrays, everyone comfortable with that. Two-dimensional array, how many programs kind of you have done earlier? Matrix problems, transpose, multiplication, subtraction. Okay, fine. So there is one interesting problem even there, which we will talk about here. It's rotation of an image. It's an interview question from Amazon, most widely asked. So when you are given an image, it's a collection of pixels. So it's, you can assume it's a two-dimensional matrix. So they say image rotation, implement image rotation. Given a matrix, just change it. It's not a transpose. Here the first row, first column is becoming the first row but in reverse order. So how do we do it efficiently? That's the interview question from Amazon. Here, rotating a matrix, they can give it, rotate it clockwise or rotate it anti-clockwise. So given a two-dimensional matrix, we have to write a function without using, okay, I think first you can try with using an additional matrix. No, it's not transpose. Clockwise is when you go like this, the first column which was this, it has become in reverse order, it has become first row. Excel. See, if the matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8, 9. If this is our matrix, what is the transpose of this? Transpose will be 1, 2 and 3. But in case of rotation, it will be first row will be 3 to 1. So that's the difference. So transpose also we always do using additional matrix. Here just they check the thinking, how do you do the rotation, because rotation of images that happens very fast. So let's open one of this image. इसमें rotation है क्या? Where is the rotation? It was there. Yeah. So how many pixels are there in this image? Pixels. It's screen resolution. If our screen's resolution we talk about, personalize. Okay, after this Windows, it becomes hard for me to find out where the resolution is. Okay, mine is 1980 by 720. I think it's HD screen. So those many pixels are there. 1000 by 1000 if you say, how much it becomes? 10 lakh? A matrix of size 1000 by 1000 we are doing this and immediately it renders properly. So how do we do that? That's the question. Even Adobe asked this question. ठीक है, think about this also. तो कल बात करते हैं.